Story title: Part 2. Billionaire pretends to be a poor single dad of twins to test his blind dates. Before the city woke up, before the Danfo buses choked the sky with black smoke and the streets filled with shouts of hawkers, Ruth was already walking. Her old slippers slapped against the cracked road, while the morning air carried the scent of roasted corn mixed with diesel fumes. In the darkness of dawn, she walked toward a house that was not hers, but where her hands kept everything alive. This house belonged to one of Lagos's billionaire families, the Adenese. Their only son, Julian, was returning from London. His arrogance was famous across the city. People said he dismissed every maid his mother hired, claiming none of them were good enough. And today, as he entered through the tall gates in his sharp suit, he looked at the maids lined up before him. One by one, he dismissed them with a flick of his hand, until his eyes rested on Ruth. For a heartbeat, his hand stopped. He let the others go, but not her. For Ruth, it was strange. She was used to being invisible, to being treated as if she didn't matter. She had grown up in Ajigunal with a leaking roof, torn schoolbooks, and a father who had disappeared long ago. Her mother roasted plantain by the roadside just to keep them alive. Ruth had dropped out of school at 15 to work in people's houses. The only treasure she kept was a torn exercise book where she wrote poems at night by candlelight. Those words were her secret weapon against despair. The first time she saw Julian differently was in church. He sat at the front row, sunlight cutting through the cracked stained glass and falling on his face. For the first time, Ruth didn't see arrogance. She saw loneliness. His deep voice carried through the hymn while she clutched her torn hymn book, trembling. After service, he walked over and said softly, "You don't sing." I don't know the songs well. Maybe I can teach you." It wasn't love yet, just a small kindness. But for Ruth, who had spent years unseen, that moment felt like light breaking through fog. Days passed, and their exchanges grew. A smile in the hallway, a book handed to her with the words, "You look like someone who loves stories." For the first time, Ruth felt noticed. Yet not everyone was blind. Mama Beezy, the cook, warned her gently, "Be careful, child. Boys like him, they shine bright, but they can burn your hand." The warning came true one night during a lavish dinner. Politicians and businessmen filled the house, and Ruth walked quietly with a tray of glasses. Behind a curtain, she heard Julian's voice. "Mother, don't worry. She's just entertainment, a distraction until I find someone of my class." Laughter followed. Her hands shook, the tray slipped, and glass shattered across the floor. The guests turned, whispers rising. But Ruth didn't hear them. Her heart had already broken. She ran out, tears blinding her. 4 days she avoided him, drowning in shame. But Ruth was not the kind to remain broken. She remembered her mother's words, "Education is your only weapon." So she started saving every naira she could, sewing clothes at night, braiding hair on Sundays, taking extra cleaning jobs in Surulere. With the help of Uncle Toby, a kind neighbor, she opened a tiny savings account. Slowly, she built a new path. Eventually, she secured a scholarship through an NGO that supported domestic workers. 2 years later, Julian's empire collapsed. His investments in Lekki failed, scandals filled the papers, and creditors circled. The proud son of wealth was suddenly desperate. One day, he walked into a boardroom, hoping for a loan. Across the table sat Ruth, no longer in a maid's uniform but in a crisp blouse, assisting her new boss at a law office. Julian froze. She looked calm, confident, untouchable. Her boss asked, "Ruth, do you have the documents?" "Yes, sir." She handed them over without a tremor. Her eyes met Julian's. In them was no anger, no begging, only dignity. That moment was her quiet victory. The girl he once dismissed now stood taller than him. Julian lowered his eyes, feeling small for the first time. He left hollow, realizing he had lost more than money. He had lost someone real. Meanwhile, Ruth found gentle companionship in Michael, a fellow scholarship student. He wasn't rich or flashy, but he was steady. He listened to her poems, encouraged her studies, and treated her as an equal. With him, she found peace that no mansion could ever offer. Months later, Ruth brought Michael to Ajigunal to meet her mother. The same roadside, the same smell of roasted plantain, But this time, joy filled the air. They held a simple gathering, laughter echoing through the small room. That night, Ruth pulled out her old torn exercise book and read aloud. "One day, I will not just clean houses, I will own a key to my own." And now that day had come. The city outside was still noisy, still hungry, still restless. But inside Ruth's heart, there was calm. Not a fairy tale ending, but something far more powerful: dignity, love, and hope that no insult could ever take away.